5 minutes past 10. Good morning to everybody who's joining us one more time. Thank you so much for making time. I know that you could be having meetings, kabo Skype, kabo Zoom, all those things. So the fact that you're spending your time with us is very much appreciated. This session is called Opinions. It happens every Thursday at 10 a.m. It is hosted by myself, Katleho, but it is driven by you. It is about your opinions on subject matter that I think we all have an interest in. So I look forward to your questions. I look forward to your comments. And then we'll take it from there. I'll definitely ask them as well to my way too as well. This morning we are joined by a man who I'm going to give a chance to introduce himself. But the conversation we're having and the opinions that we're looking for are around. I want to keep it broad, but at the same time I want to focus it. So let's play in both spaces. It's really around plant-based diets, but the bigger picture, I guess, is healthier eating and healthier living. And he's been on a journey of his own, which he'll share with us. And hopefully from there, we'll learn a couple of things. But again, I invite you to put your comments, your questions, whatever it is that you might have. My way to welcome to Opinions.
Thanks, KG. How's it?
I'm good, brother. Okay, so let's just do a quick intro, Yana, for people to get to know who you are, what your story is. Because you're not a physical, what do they call them? You're not a physical trainer. You're not a personal trainer. What?
No. Nothing of that.
Okay. Let us know who you are, what your story is.
Okay. Mawethu Ngubo, born and bred in Kimberley. Went to study in Cape Town, came back, work in the infrastructure space, more electrical and civils. There's more on the career path. But to be honest, I think as one tries to seek a meaningful purpose in life, sometimes you don't quite feel that where you are career-wise is where your calling is. And I think for me, it was always, I always knew that there was something much bigger than that. My calling was much deeper than that. And I think how I came about to find myself where I am was, and I had a question that why are Black people sick? Black people are sick generally. And then as we go on in the show, I'll unpack on it. But my answer actually came back to it's about what we eat. We are sick. We've got a violation. Our biology has been violated, and then I'll unpack later on that. But it's exactly how I find myself where I am right now. And look, this is my passion. This is now what I do. I mean, you see my post daily. You know this is me. And if I could live my life all over again, I probably wouldn't go the infrastructure route. I probably would have studied nutrition from the word go.
Sure. If we could all have that pill, we'd do it all over again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything specific in your life? I know that you're saying that as Ndaki, we've got this problem where we've got the high blood pressure, we've got cholesterol issues. It's very prevalent in the Black community, these kind of diseases, to the point where we're used to it. But right, the aunts and whatever, they're always complaining about such disease. It's almost normalized in our world. Was there just a moment in your story that led you down this path, or were you just thinking, or did you find yourself in some sort of health situation? What happened? What actually triggered your conversation with yourself about that?
Okay, first and foremost is I started questioning, why do we accept the fact that chronic ailments are actually genetic? I mean, I think all of us, when we look at our Black families, we see Matai, Mama, old lady, we bury uncles, your diabetes and your cancers, all those type of ailments. And then when you being a scholar of history, now I'm a scholar of history, and I sorry about that.
No problem.
And what I've come to realize is that in my taking a scholarly approach on Black history, I then realized that no, the people who lived back then and my time Aruna right now, there's a violation definitely. And when I tried to look deeper into that violation, I then realized that we are busy eating food that is not consistent with our biological and chemical predisposition, And I always say this, that if a gorilla that is planted in Africa can be taken to the North Pole and be given the diet of the polar bear, what's going to happen to that gorilla?
I suspect it's going to end up looking like a polar bear.
So there will be a violation in his biology. So why is it that with Homo sapiens, we think it's any different?
Mm.
So this is so the digging started there, you know, and then I realized also. So more coming more to me personally. I was never really a big boy, but I mean I've had Mokaba, you know, I've been going to gym and I've been trying to lose all of that. Yeah. And I've been battling, you know, and I just decided to go on a 21-day plant-based diet. And this was in 2018, July. And before the end of that month, I'd cut down 5 kilograms, you know, fat. You know, I've cut down a lot bit of muscle. And then I started, you know, I had heartburn, I had, you know, acid indigestion, all those things. And I started realizing that there's something to eat here. There's something here. What is it? Why is it that when someone goes on this diet specifically and then you start noticing those changes? You know, there was weight loss, my sleep was getting better. I mean, I battled, my sleeping patterns were bad. Everything about me just started improving generally.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I don't want us to go too far without necessarily describing what it is that we're talking about. So when we say plant-based, and so let's deem thing and not make it sound sophisticated. Let's take the discovery out of it. Let me put it that way, okay? When we say plant-based diets, what exactly do we mean? Are we saying that or how far does that go?
No. Okay. I know there's that whole rabbit food narrative, you know, no. So basically, plant-based diet means you eat nothing that is from an animal.
So milk is excluded, eggs are excluded.
Eggs out, milk out, meat out, nothing from an animal. So you would have your nuts, you would have your grains, you would have your veggies, you would have your fruit. So you'll have basically nothing that is animal-based.
Okay. All right. So you go on this thing. You decide, I'm going to go this route. You start with the 21 days. You see 5 kilograms drop. That's what you said, right?
Yep.
Fast forward to 2020. What year are we in? 2020. I almost said 2021.
2020, yeah. Well, it's in a couple, in 6 weeks? It's going to be 2 years now.
Wow. Okay. So what kept you on the journey? And then we'll talk about how you stayed on the journey and the benefits thereof. But what kept you going? Actually, so was it the 5 kilogram loss, or was there something else that kept you going?
Okay. So the lifestyle itself, I started sleeping better. My concentration levels were up. So you also know that I do a lot of endurance sports. You know, I do cycling. I do triathlons, and I play soccer. So my energy levels shot up big time. And then I started comparing. So unfortunately, immediately or shortly after I started going on a vegan diet, and when I was starting to fit into this thing, my performance on the cycling on cycling was brilliant. I was breaking previous best records. I was running better. So then I just knew there was something in it. You know, I just knew, and I started going off your supplements that you buy at Discam or Clicks, you know. Okay, and I hope I'm not going to get into trouble by mentioning, you know, that, but I'm just...
It's fine. It's okay. Okay, well, welcome if you're just joining us. It is 10:15. The session's called Opinions. Obviously, you're watching it on Instagram Live. You didn't stumble onto it. My name is KG. That down there is my way to, and we're talking about plant-based diets. He's a man who started the journey about 2 years ago. 6 weeks' time, it's going to be 2 years for him. And he's seen some tremendous changes in his own life. And he just wanted to share his opinions about why one should go onto it, for example. 2, what are the things that we should be doing once you go into a diet like that? What are the things to avoid, and what the benefits thereof are? And with that being said, again, I invite you to put your questions down. Would very much love to hear. I see Ronell is coming up on the screen there as well. I've seen, who else have I seen? Ooh, okay, I've seen a lot of people. I'll go through your questions. Please put them on. And also share your advice. If you've been on a journey that's very similar, please put it up. For some of us who are trying to, I weigh 106 kilograms, okay? And I'm trying to shed that. And I'm obviously trying to live better. So I'd love to hear what you guys recommend out there. Okay, so you've been, you start this journey, you stay on it. Let's talk about some of the challenges that came with it, because I can't imagine it's an easy thing to do. On a practical level, I mean, just going on a plant-based diet from a grocery cycle purchase point of view, now all of a sudden every week I have to be back at the grocery store, etc., etc. You know, were there cost implications? Does it cost more? Does it cost less? How did you make it work for yourself?
Okay. If you don't take a scholarly approach to it, it will cost you a lot of money. So what I mean is I did a lot of research. For instance, there's a lot of vegan processed things you can get at Woolies or most of the chain stores, and those things are not cheap, you know. But I mean, if you go to...
Can I ask a question? Sorry, I know you're still answering that question, but and this is my stupidity coming into play here. Vegan and plant-based, are those the exact same thing, or are they not? Is there a difference between what's vegan and what's plant-based?
No. It's the same thing. So I think veganism is more of an activism philosophy, to say.
Okay, so it's a movement, it's a way of being.
Yes, yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I just needed to clarify that for myself. Continue.
Okay, so it depends. It depends. So with me, my plant-based eating is more of an alkaline-based plant-based eating. So I would eat things that are more electrical, more into... So what I did, I went cold turkey on alkaline food, you know.
Huh?
So when I say cold turkey, alkaline foods is whatever I eat, I make sure that it's got a pH of more than 7.
And what informed that?
Sorry?
What informed that decision? Why did you go that route?
Okay, so what I did consistently, and what I did, I made sure when I went vegan, I also made sure that I look at it from a whole holistic living point of view, to say what makes people sick is acidity. You know, when people live on the acid side of life, whatever you eat that forms acid in your body, acidosis, that's what gets you, that's what makes you sick. So I focus more on saying then alkalinity is more close to nature. So and actually it's the alkaline things that are actually basic, that are actually cheap. You know, if you buy them and you cook them, and for instance, I buy a lot of garbanzo beans, which is the chickpeas. Instead of eating normal rice, I eat wild rice, which is your natural rice. A lot of things that vegans eat are hybrids, so meaning they're not natural. You know, it's things that were cross-pollinated. So, for instance, carrots are not natural. They've got their nutritional value, but they're hybrids. You know, they were cross-pollinated between a certain seed and something else, and you got carrots out of that. A lot of people do not know these things. So that is the approach I took. I took a deep scholarly approach to it. So I mind what I eat. I make sure that what I eat is on the alkaline side of life. So it's pedantic. You know, that's the one challenge I'm getting to. It's extremely pedantic. It needs you to invest a lot of time in it.
Okay, now you're scaring people off, because I'm thinking to myself, if it's all that work, is it something that is sustainable in terms of lifestyle? Because I can imagine doing the transition might be hard, but I wouldn't want it to be too much work on a personal level, and I don't know how anybody else feels about it. So what would you recommend in terms of making it, if you're going to make the switch, but making it more sustainable, allowing yourself to be able to continue down that path, but without necessarily having to apply too much academia or scholarly approach to it? What would you suggest?
I think people must first ease into it.
Okay.
You know, try to understand ease into it, because I can tell you one thing. So you recall I said the things that are hybrid are not necessarily non-nutritional. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not nourishing your cells, but I mean, you just get better benefits if you go on the alkaline side of it. So I think once you get into the system, then it's easier to then be more academic about it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds whilst I go through the messages to think about what your recommendation to someone would be in terms of a starter pack. We need starter packs in life, because sometimes these things are more complicated than we need them to. In the meantime, let's answer or ask answer some questions.
Yeah.
Ronell, that's Ron underscore MNM, says, I can't leave meat and eggs, right? I would love to try the plant-based diet out for a week first. How would you recommend I start? Previously and successfully lost weight on the keto diet. So I've actually seen her. She lost quite a bit of weight on the keto diet. And she's saying that she would like to start. What would you recommend?
Okay. Now that's actually that's a very common question that I get,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give a very interesting answer to that. So
I would hope so.
The food that we eat, one thing that we're not aware of, actually has got a direct impact on our central nervous system. So the central nervous system also, well, obviously being the coordination between your spine and your brain. So it's actually what gets your body to vibrate to certain things.
Okay.
Yes, it's one thing that I actually realized this the more I went into this holistic healing, nutrition. So it is important for someone to first go on a fast. So one thing I didn't mention, I went on a fast. So when
we seem to have lost you there. You went on a fast? Just take us back to there. You went on a fast?
Yeah. So it was a juice fast. So it was just water and fruit juice. So
and the purpose of that fast was?
So one, it was to do intracellular cleansing.
Man, you can't come with words like intracellular.
No, remember.
What is intracellular cleansing?
Exactly. It is important for me to mention this because it is exactly what gets someone to take a decision to leave certain things. Because we must understand that social engineering, how we were brought up, it's difficult to then change after 30-something years or 20-something. I'm not going to eat something overnight.
Sure.
Exactly. So it's like you need to clean the software, which is the
cells.
So your cells carry your organs. So whether it be your eyes, whether anything about yourself, whether it be your hands, your everything, it's carried by your cells. So if they are intoxicated, if there are toxins, in your cells, they need cleansing. So water cleanses, especially if it's electric water that has got a pH value of more than 7. And then it juice fast. You juice and you drink. So that had helped me because it prepared my body, but it also prepared me mentally. So that food, that fast was actually tapping into my central nervous system, which actually made it easy for me to say, okay, I'm getting into a plant-based diet and I then need to start eating this way.
If you're just joining us, this is Opinions. It is on Instagram Live. We are, 20 minutes into our conversation with Mawetu about plant-based diets. I'm sure you're going in and going, what are they talking about? Intracellular fast? What the hell is this? Well, he's explaining that one. He's explaining his journey, and where we are now is he's shared that in the first 21 days of his 2-year journey now, he lost 5 kilograms. And he saw a tremendous difference in his focus, his ability to sleep and sleep deeper and longer, from what I understand. And just generally, he felt better. And he obviously, not obviously, but he participates in ultra marathons and things like that. So these things were very important for him whilst he still carries his 9-to-5 job. The reason he found himself on this journey has a lot to do with his own research into the history of us Black people and why it is that we have these lifestyle diseases, whilst our ancestors didn't necessarily carry the same diseases. And so his journey began. Where we are now is he's explaining how he actually went about it. And part of the process was that he had to clean his body out, to cleanse. And you must correct me if I'm misquoting you. And he went on this diet or this fast for a week, right?
Yeah.
An intracellular cleansing diet. So, to set up his nervous system, to set up his body so that he can start this new way of life. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So it is very important to do that. So now, basically, fruit and veg are extremely important. If you're gonna go on this one, especially fruit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was saying so is meat. Continue.
Especially fruit, for instance, with me, it was also, I had citrus in the morning, citrus fruit in the morning. I I citrus fruit in the morning. I'll later get to the herbs part. I also have herbs that I use as my supplements. Instead of
Like where it's
taking.
going. Herbs are good.
Yeah.
Herbs are very.
Not herbs.
Oh, my bad.
No. I don't have any personal experience on that one, so I'm not going to vouch for it.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's very important to do that. So we must also understand what happens to our bodies when we sleep. So I'm getting to answer on. Our bodies get into fast mode because we're sleeping, we're not eating.
Okay.
Fasting mode. Yeah. So your body gets into fasting mode. So that is why a lot of times when people go for breakfast, it means you are breaking the fast. So your body is still in that mode of rebuilding itself. It's rebuilding itself, it's re-energizing itself, it's getting into revitalization mode. So which is why even with me, I do not eat until it's 12 o'clock religiously every day. That has become a lifestyle. And people call it...
Whoa. Did you just say you don't eat until it's 12, midday?
Yeah. So my last meal is at 8 in the evening.
The day before?
Yes. And my first meal is at 12 midday.
Yeah, no, maybe I might leave this one to you. You're telling me, because
I mean, what I have. This is what I have. I have my herbs like every day.
So you start your day with the herbs?
Yes, my herbs
and nothing else. Not an egg.
My herbs
not
and water. Nothing else.
Yeah. Okay. I must admit, as a layman, that sounds very tricky for me because also for years I've been told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, So to say you have your first meal at 12, I don't know if I'll be able to, but that's why we have you here to talk us through how do we get it right.
Yeah. No, like I'm saying, is that it's mental preparation. That fasting prepares you mentally. Your central nervous system taps well into whatever you want to vibrate to. But what I'm saying is that we don't realize and we don't understand how powerful the body is. The body is extremely powerful, and we underutilize its ability.
Okay.
Yeah, we underutilize its ability. We need to really tap into the full capability of the body. Because honestly, the body is not meant to be sick. Firstly.
Yeah, we would hope it isn't. Really, we would.
No, it's not.
So sorry to interrupt, but I can't help but think if I'm sitting Kuntlung and I mean, one of the things we have to admit is that for the most part, people who follow and view my content, and I'd want that to have value for that person sitting at home. We have the typical grocery bag that we buy, and I want to break this down. I almost said to a cellular level, but yeah, you might come with some other big word, and then I'd get confused. But I want us to take it to that level, to say if you are a person who is still in the explorative stages, so you're not necessarily going to go and do the fast immediately, you're not yet committed, but you're looking to explore and experiment with the benefits of sort of a plant-based diet, I would assume that the first thing you would do is take out certain things in the typical grocery bag, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, introduce new items. If you were to take a typical recommendation list or take a typical grocery list and recommend things to pull out and things to introduce, what would you put in there?
Okay. The first thing you need to get out of the grocery list is anything that is processed. Anything that is processed.
Okay, examples?
Refined. Your Kellogg's.
Kellogg's.
Yeah, what is it? What are you doing with it? You're hurting your body.
What? Okay, all right. I want to ask what is endemically wrong with them, but I guess.
Yeah. You take out. Okay. We can get to that. We can get to that immediately. It's not food. It's not whole food.
Okay.
You need to eat food. You need to eat food.
Marketing or body barking, all brand new, aren't those good for the system? Or am I being ignorant?
No, remember, ignorant is probably a very harsh word, but we were made to believe that certain foods are food, but it's not food. So which is why I'll be nice and say, rather go for whole food.
And what is whole food? Whole food is in food. Again, I want us to be so specific that somebody at home is like, oh, I get what you're saying. So what is whole food? What is a whole food example?
So, for instance, grains. You know, grain.
Okay, yeah,
You know, grains. Things
sure.
that things our ancestors used to eat. For instance, barley,
Okay,
malt. You know, those are the things we actually walk past at a grocery store, and those are
but
things our
are those things
ancestors.
available at a grocery store, Mawetu?
Sorry.
Because typically, are those things available at a grocery store unprocessed?
Let me get there. So
Leletu's
by
life is falling apart now because you're saying he must take out Kellogg's. His life is falling apart completely.
no, it's fine. No, Lele too will. I'll convert him this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. If it actually they just package it, how they harvest it. They harvest it in its natural form and it gets packaged, and then you go to Pick and Pay. You go to most of these grocery stores. You'll actually find it there. I buy
Okay.
my barley at Checkers. I buy my lentils at Checkers.
And then
buy
I would
my
have,
beans.
and I would have, so your barley I would have with what, like some honey or what, instead of sugar, instead of processed sugar.
No. I don't. Okay, honey. Remember, honey is not plant based.
Oh, Ghana. Sure. Okay. Whew. All right.
Yeah, but you can have there's what they call agave.
Uh-huh.
Agave is similar to honey, but it's made from the agave plant, which is
Yeah.
sold at Discam. It's sold at Discam.
Okay. Discount. Shout out there.
Yeah. You see, I'm not costing sponsors.
Okay. Cool. And then
Oats,
fruits
for
and
instance,
meat.
oats.
Yeah.
Oats is it's natural.
Ah. Okay.
Because if you
So this is
can
the
go to any
non-based one, obviously.
if you can go to any YouTube video
Mhm.
and you look at how these grains are harvested, you'll actually realize that they just harvest it properly, naturally, and they package it.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm with
Yeah.
you there. But we're obviously saying that not the oats that have chocolate flavor and what, like original oats
Yeah,
without.
those things obviously, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's one of the things you would take out. And what else would you take out of the typical
Yeah.
grocery bag?
A plant-based milk. Milk, animal-based milk.
All of it. So there's no type of milk that is on the market right now that you would recommend, animal based. And you would substitute it with?
Plant-based, for starters. Well, I make my own milk at home, but I would recommend people to go for the plant-based milk.
Okay, we'll revisit the conversation about making milk at home because I'm interested as to how you do that. But what would be there's almond milk, I think is. But as soon as I said that, you know what my mind said? Yatura.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. As soon as I said it I was like, I'm going into Woolworths territory right now, and not everybody's Woolworths shopping. You know what I mean?
That's why I make my own milk. It is expensive.
Okay.
It is expensive. But making your own milk is not expensive.
How would you make your own milk?
Okay, so when I started making my own milk,
yeah,
I take dates, dates as in pitted dates.
Okay.
And I take nuts and hemp milk. So I would take nuts and hemp milk and dates, blend together in a blender, and then I strain it out and I get my milk.
Hemp milk.
Hemp.
Okay.
Yeah. You take hemp seeds.
Yeah.
You take nuts and you take dates for flavor, and then you just blend that together.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just asking.
And no preservatives.
And how long does it last in terms of shelf life? Well, not shelf life, fridge life.
5 days.
Oh, okay. And in terms of
whole week, you've got a full week's supply of milk.
And then energy levels. I see a question coming from LJ saying that how do you maintain your energy levels then?
Well, he plays soccer with me. He's seen me.
Yeah, continue.
I mean, he's seen me play soccer. He plays soccer with me, so he should know better. He should know that. I mean, my energy levels are, and it's just plain from the diet, nothing else.
Okay,
no supplements, nothing.
Here's where we are in terms of the grocery list, the typical everyday South African's grocery list. You've said that we must take out any processed foods, right? You've now suggested that we take out plant-based sort of animal milk and substitute it with plant milk. You're saying that there are recipes in terms of making your own, and it's not as difficult. What else? What else are we taking out? What are we bringing in?
Okay, let's go to starch now.
What is rice? Is all?
Yeah. So I know people say brown rice.
Yeah.
Of which it's not too bad. It's starchy. It's not too bad. But starch is wrong because the problem with starch, it's got carbonic acid, and so the problem with carbonic acid, it makes the absorption of iron difficult, and
Okay.
iron is the most important mineral that you need in your body.
In the 5 seconds, because
Iron is the most magnetic mineral. So if the absorption of iron in your body is spot on, then you
yeah.
get to absorb the other 101 minerals that your body needs daily much easier.
Ah,
So iron
okay.
is
Wow.
life. Yeah, iron is life. Like a lot of people actually, a lot of ailments are linked to the lack of that.
Okay. All right.
And
Anything?
women, because of obviously other women issues, they need iron more. And the more they eat starch, the more carbonic acid they get into their body, the more chronic inflammation of the blood and acidosis happens in their system.
Okay. Again, my primitive mind goes, if I'm taking starch out of my diet, which is one of the things that I've struggled with, right?
Yeah.
Also because, you read all these sources that are out there about, getting your carbs in at certain times in the day, and starch is a source of carb for the most part, right?
Yeah.
But my big concern, to be honest, is not even the carb element. It is will I be full? In a typical meal, what am I substituting my carb with then? Oh, not my carb, my starch.
Okay. Yeah. So the vegan diet is naturally filling. So the problem with the vegan diet is you actually do not eat a lot, but you get full much quicker for longer, which is why it has for years been a problem for bodybuilders, because bodybuilders are supposed to eat in bulk. But they then manage to get to that level. I don't know how, because with me I eat 1,800 calories, 2,000 max, and I'm full. So that's for the whole day.
Wow. I suspect I eat a lot more calories.
But let me make this point for you. The most important thing that you need, remember, whatever you eat is broken down into macro and macronutrients. So you've got your macronutrients being your carbs, your protein, and your fat. And then your micronutrients being your vitamins and your minerals. So the micronutrient part, your minerals, are very important because they actually feed into your cells, and the cells, like I said earlier, are actually what actually carry your organs. So your body, in our cellular and chemical makeup as Black people, CHO, actually needs 102 minerals a day.
And the typical person has how many?
Jeez, no. On the diet that you're on, you don't even get to 30.
True. So we are dying slowly.
You don't even get to 30. So I, for instance, I can show you this, what I'm drinking here, my herbs. I've got Barrow-Groot. Barrow-Groot alone has been proven chemically by everybody that it's got 90 minerals alone.
Okay.
So just from what I would have as coffee, my herbs are now my coffee. So so I finish my 102 minerals in a day, every day, religiously.
Wow. Okay. I'm tempted to say that after our session, please send us a list that we can post up of exactly what we're talking about in terms of the herbs that you are taking. Obviously, you are not a medical doctor or professional, so we'll put that disclaimer there to say that if you are going to take any of these things, feel free to check them out for yourself. But we've got a question from Chloe, who says, this is at only Chloe. He says, would be interested to find out your thoughts about sugar, particularly the sugar that we find in fruits.
Yeah, no, look, sugar triggers are glucose, and it's part of it's one of the things that trigger us being sick. So you're not getting it naturally, but if you get it from your fruit, you get natural sugar. So you still need sugar. You still need sugar. I mean, I go through about 38 grams of sugar a day.
Is that a recommended sort of amount of sugar that one should be taking, provided that obviously it's unprocessed?
Yes.
Okay.
I go through that. So sugar is bad if not natural.
Okay. All right. So fruits are good. Essentially, that's what we're saying.
Yeah. No. Because remember, there's natural sugar in fruit. And
Okay.
if it's not processed fruit, if it's got seeds, if it's seeded, if it's not seedless, then it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. It is just to do a quick time check, 20 minutes before we wrap up. This is Opinions. Happens every Thursday, 10 a.m. on my Instagram Live. And when we get left, what's it called? Released to go and play with other children again. Maybe it'll be on other platforms as well. Every week we've got a different guest, and we're talking about literally exactly that, their opinions. So they share their opinions
Yeah.
on a subject matter that they are experts in or have experience in or are curious about. So if you would like to be on the segment and share your thoughts or your opinions on something, please DM me. And again, this only works if you ask the questions. All I am here is a curator of conversation. I'm not necessarily the subject matter expert, so I really rely on your questions as well. Keep them coming. Okay, we've got another one here coming from Leletu, who says, sorry, let me try and scroll down. Hi, Leandra, welcome. Leandre, I think I just saw come on. I just saw a couple of other people. I'll go through them now. But Leletu says, how tasty and enjoyable are these herbs? Medicine is bitter. So I suspect he's speaking about that herb concoction that you've got there that you're drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be honest.
No. Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. No. I actually mix them all with what they call elderberries.
Okay.
So elderberries.
Which does what?
No, elderberries are actually very good for immunity. It's a natural immune booster.
Oh,
they're also
okay.
they're also high in iron.
Okay. He's asking about the taste. How enjoyable are these things?
Yeah. So berries.
Which is subjective, I guess.
I've never heard of bitter berries. So because of the berries in the mix that I part of the concoction, they're okay. It's like drinking rooibos without sugar. That's how it tastes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I did allude to the fact that we want to know what you've put into that. We've just kind of spoken about it now, but what else goes into this concoction of yours?
Okay. So I had buttock root.
Uh-huh.
I had dandelion. I had sarsaparilla. I had let me see. I have yellow dog and I have elderberries.
And all these are, excuse me, freely available at your normal grocery store.
No. So I bring them in. I import them in.
Whew, okay, that's some other level of commitment. When you import your tea mixture.
Yeah.
Okay. What have you found? Let's maybe bust some myths that exist around plant-based diets. I'm sure, obviously, when you started, there were some that you were aware of, and having been on the journey for 2 years now, there's some that you obviously know of. Give us a couple that you'd like to bust.
Okay, the first one is, okay, there's a protein issue. Where do you get protein? Because you don't eat meat, you don't eat egg. Yeah, all the so-called things that are understood to be the sources of protein.
Mm-hmm.
And people have got a misconception that, no, but I can't go on a plant-based diet because I need protein.
Yeah.
And the answer I give to that is that a gorilla eats plant, and it's very masculine.
Very, very true.
So that's the first protein myth I saw. It was just nonsense. There's no such.
Okay, so there's protein in plant-based diets.
A lot. In everything that you eat, it's got a component of protein.
Okay. Second myth that you'd like to bust? I must get one of those things that go doosh after you say something like a bomb. It must explode. Bust it. Anyway.
Yeah. Secondly, you do not eat, you do not drink milk, so there's a lack of calcium, and you might get osteoporosis at a later. Rubbish, nonsense. There's no such. From buttock root alone, if I get 90 minerals, calcium is one of them. Kale has got a higher content of calcium than
milk.
Kale has got exactly. So there's another one. It's your energy levels will shoot down because you don't eat enough. I've seen the opposite of that happen.
Okay. And then we'll give you two more myths that you'd like to blow out of the water about plant-based diets.
Let's see. You lose muscle mass. So I lost muscle mass because I stopped strength training, not because of the vegan diet. Yes, not because of the vegan diet. You know, and you lose strength. I actually got stronger when I went on a vegan diet. I mean, I think I saw Mo is has joined us. He can tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I still terrorize the guys at soccer.
I can't look at it. Politics are ball. I'm not gonna be a part of that one. Okay,
Yeah.
and then your last one. What's your last one? Which one are you choosing to leave for last?
Let's see. Oh, he's got another. This is actually a benefit.
Okay.
Sexual benefit.
Talk to me, play. Now you're in my ballpark. Arbu, as I move closer with my coffee.
There's a misconception that it lowers testosterone.
Uh-huh.
And that is a lie.
Okay.
Yes. Trust me. It's the other way around.
Give me facts now. I need.
Your body is clean, Baba. Your body is clean, Baba. Inkonzo, it's you're good. You're good. There's blood flow. You know when you're at 0 o'clock because of the blood flow that does not.
Yeah.
Ivula my pipe, so it goes here.
You know what? If this interview was going to be for one thing and one thing only, I can tell you now that was the moment. Every guy.
No. I can tell
tomorrow
you.
There's going to be a long line at the grocery store. There'll be no social distancing. All of them there by the plants there.
No, there, Baba. Kuhamba ganje.
Hi, no, that's good to know. You know, you've sold me now. I might actually switch completely. Okay, we've got another question here from Leanne. So she says, so I've heard a theory that humans are actually, what's it called? Sorry, I can't see quite well. Oh, there you go. Herbivores, right? Our bodies were not meant to eat meat. Not sure how true that is. Is that true? So are humans herbivores? Are you still there? There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I must not be misquoted here. I don't want to say I speak under authority, but from what I know is, if humans were naturally created to be carnivores, then Homo sapiens would not have to cook meat at high Fahrenheit levels to soften it to get into the body. But more so, the body still battles to absorb meat that is cooked. But the lion's stomach or any carnivore eats meat in its raw form and immediately gets absorbed and digested much easily.
Wow.
So we digest things that are not meat much easier. So that on its own should leave us with a question mark.
I love it. I think that is the most honest answer I've heard around that question. Because it makes you think, right? Well, we cook the stuff.
Yeah.
A part of me is also a bit nervous because the person who's asking this question is also responsible for my diet. So now I'm wondering if I'm going to have meat in my diet again for after tomorrow. Okay. So we're almost at the end of our conversation. I think we've got about 10 minutes left. What thoughts would you want to leave anybody who's watching, our conversation with? I still am open for questions, by the way, before we wrap up. So do send the questions. That'd be cool.
Okay. Come again. Sorry, I lost you there.
I was saying sort of your final thoughts, if you would, around plant-based diets, why we should all be moving to it. If you were to make a case for it, what would that sound like?
Okay. So earlier on, I mentioned the issue of acid and alkalinity.
Yes, sir.
So there is proven biological data that meat, eggs, or anything that is animal-based causes acidosis. And it is food that is acid-forming. And there is no way that disease can be comfortable in an alkaline environment. And it has also been proven that more and more doctors, medical doctors, are recommending a plant-based diet for the reversal of many ailments. Now, for me, it's people should give themselves time to reflect on this and ask themselves exactly what are they putting into their bodies. Remember, you eat to live or die, basically. So we think we eat to live. No, we're actually intoxicating our bodies and violating our biological affinity. So as I said earlier, the body is not meant to be sick. But if you're going to feed the body what it's not supposed to consume, there's absolutely no way it will be good to you.
We're not giving our bodies a chance.
Exactly.
Sure. I love that. Okay, so we've got more questions coming through. There is one here that is asking a question that was answered. Leanne is asking again, I'm not sure if this was asked, but have you found plant-based food to be more expensive, or plant-based diet to be more expensive? And you said that it is for the most part, but there are ways to get around it. So I'll repost, obviously, this video, and then Leanne, you can visit it there and have a look. So Umsubati says, I'm a vegan runner. What advice would you give for me to gain energy, or give for energy?
Yeah, well, I'm a runner too, Baba.
Yeah.
I'm a runner too. Look, I don't know when you joined the conversation, or did you just join now?
I think you just joined.
Is it?
Yeah. Give him a summary.
Okay.
Quick one.
Okay. Look, Baba, your body will, okay. First, I need to understand how are you now energy-wise. But what you put in, anything that is natural and plant-based, in its own molecular structure is full of energy itself. So you actually get energy into your body through what you consume.
Okay. I hope
you get that, because I'll be a little bit technical. So our chemical affinity as Black people is CHO, so which is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Okay.
So it means that we need to also be getting oxygen into our bodies. And we must not just think that oxygen is what we breathe in.
Okay.
Sunlight,
Yeah.
and food that we get into our bodies is actually oxygen that is needed, because it is our chemical affinity.
Sure. Wow, that's interesting.
So I don't know if you've seen a lot of my WhatsApp updates where I drink my herbs and I get sunlight. So it's very important. So also, to sleep, sometimes I sleep with my windows wide open, whether it be winter, whether it be, and I know it's something people, my fellow soccer mates have called me crazy for that. But no, you need that. You need to breathe. Your skin must also breathe. Your skin is a living organism, which is why when someone is sleeping at a hospital bed for months, they get what they call cellular erosion, which causes bad sores because there's no breathing there.
Sure.
So it's very important, which is why our ancestors, a lot of them were not, the skin was not dressed. So when we wear these warm things, we're not getting the skin to breathe. We're not getting enough oxygen into our body that speaks to our chemical affinity as Black people.
So let me tell you what I've heard in this interview, right? Why I love the fact that we had this conversation. Number one, you've convinced me that plant-based diets are good for sexual relations. So I'm sure people are like, yes, I'm great. Now you've also given us gents an argument as to why people should be wearing a little less because they need the sun. So it's a good argument. At this point, you're making a great case for me. So I'm enjoying that. Yeah. We do have another question coming through. It's also from Chloe. And he's saying, what is the question that he's asking? I just lost it now. Oh, what are your thoughts on alcohol? Completely cut it out? Or, I think he said, are there healthier options? Are there healthier alcohol options?
Well, alcohol is acid forming.
Simpleton language, please.
It's acid forming. There can't be any good coming out of alcohol.
But it's made of barley and all of those things, isn't it?
You mix those things. You put in what you call a pH. If you take in a a litmus test. You put in the pH paper and you test it. It will give you less than 3 on the pH scale.
Hey, son. And then gin?
Izokunika less than 3 on the pH
So,
scale. So anything less than 7, anything less than 7 and down is acid.
you're breaking my heart.
7 and up, then you go into the electrical side of life, which is oxygen, carbon,
You are breaking
hydrogen.
my heart. My heart is breaking slowly here.
I know.
And Leandre's heart is also breaking. Gin with lemon becomes alkaline in the body, isn't it? Oh, okay. So there's an opportunity. So there's an option. So if you put gin with lemon, it becomes alkaline in the body. Apparently, it's a question actually from Leandre. Is that true or not?
Leandre must go to Discam, buy buy litmus paper.
By the way, you can also go to Clicks before Discam thinks that.
And mix gin with lemon and test it. And she must come back. She will see that there's absolutely no way she will get 7 out of that test.
Sure. You're taking the nice things, Joe. You've just taken the nice things away. But it's all good. Anyway, I think we do have to wrap it because we've got about 3 minutes left. If there are any questions, I'm going to give the next 30 seconds for them. I think I've got a couple that are actually shooting up the screen now. I'll read them now. But thank you to everybody who's taken the time to come and chill with us and chat. Thanks to Mawetu for making time and just being so insightful. You actually know a lot about this, and I'm glad. Your opinions are very solid and informed, which is what we need and we want more of. Everybody who is like me and got excited when he started talking about the benefits of plant-based diet in the bedroom, don't worry, we're going to have an opinion session that's specifically around other things that we can do to improve life behind those closed doors in particular, right? Unless your doors are open. Because we don't all do the same things in the bedroom. I did give you a chance to give final thoughts, but maybe in a sentence. Why plant-based diets? Boom, go for it.
Oh, wow. Eat to health. And what do you eat to health? It's plant-based. So that is it, you know. It's holistic living.
There you have it. It's holistic living.
Yeah. You are what you eat. So eat to health.
Some people would say I'm meat, so maybe I should eat meat. But anyway, that doesn't mean you eat human meat. That's a whole other conversation. Good people, it has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for making the time again. My name is Katla Mabusera. Until the next time we see each other, you know how it goes, right? Be kind, live, love, learn, and as is always, listen. This particular recording is going to be available. I'll try and get it in the next hour. I'll make it available on Instagram, IGTV as well, and then I'll put it on YouTube as well. Anybody that you know who could benefit from it, send them my way. And anything that you would like to hear opinions about, or if you'd like to share opinions on, please hit me up and let's keep conversations like this going. Lord knows we need to mow it. Thank you so much, my brother. Okay, Mawetu's gone. We lost him. Is he still there? Oh, okay. Cool. Until the next time we see each other, I'm out. Be safe. Stay home. And now if I can remember where to end this. There you go.